Today I'm going to show you how I made this mobile tool cart for my table saw tools that also transforms into a lightweight outfeed table using inexpensive conduit, maker pipe connectors, and a wall control pegboard panel. Let's get to it. The structural pipe connectors from Maker Pipe work with 3/4 inch conduit, which is the perfect material since it's lightweight but strong and inexpensive. To cut the conduit, I used a pipe cutter from Brasscraft. You simply attach it to the pipe where you want to cut it and rotate it around the pipe. Tighten it slightly and then rotate it around again, each time cutting a little deeper until it cuts all the way through. You can also use a hacksaw, but I really like the clean cuts that this tool leaves, and let's face it, it's also a good workout. The casters I also got from Maker Pipe are super simple to install. They have hard plastic ridges that compress as you hammer the pipe onto the caster and provide a super strong fit. Next, I moved on to measuring the pipe lengths for the base using a wall control panel as a guide for the front and back lengths of the base. The panel is 16 inches wide, and then adding another inch to each end to fit into the connectors means I needed two 18-inch pieces of conduit. For the two side pieces of the base, I chose 12 inches, which felt like it would provide enough of a footprint to be sturdy. Once the pieces were cut, I simply slid them into each end of the 90-degree connector and tightened up the hardware. And with that, the base was assembled and ready for a full-grown man weight test. Next, I moved on to cutting the pieces for the top of the cart. Since there aren't any casters on the top, I could use the standard T-connectors to attach the 4 pieces. I wanted there to be a slight tilt from the bottom to the top, so for the top side pieces, I only made them 8.5 inches long. Next, I moved on to figuring out how tall I wanted the cart to be, leaving enough room to rest a lightweight outfeed table on top and be flush with the table saw. Making sure to account for the height the T-connectors would add, I ended up needing pipe pieces of 29.5 inches tall. Once those were cut, I could start assembling the top and the bottom using more T-connectors. Since the T-connectors can pivot around the pipe, they work perfectly at allowing me to easily get the slight angle I was looking for. With the structural part of the cart complete, I moved on to mounting the wall control pegboard panel. I thought of a lot of different ways of attaching it, but sometimes the simplest option proves to be the best, and I ended up simply using zip ties through the mounting holes and around the pipe. Once I added a few at the top, middle, and bottom, the pegboard was securely mounted and didn't show any give. Next, I moved on to the Outfeed Table portion of the build. I started by cutting a 12.5 inch piece of plywood the same height as the cart. I wanted a way to quickly mount the piece of wood on the top, and while it's not their intended use, using the outer portion of a few of the 90-degree connectors mounted to the bottom of the plywood worked perfectly. I wanted a way to hang the outfeed table on the back of the cart when not in use. To do this, I ended up repurposing a couple of the wall control brackets to act as hooks to allow the table to hang from the top pipe. It worked, but the table would swing around, so I added a spare T-connector in the middle of the base pipe for the table to rest on. Wall Control has what seems like endless hooks and brackets to mount tools to the panel, so I just messed around with different options until I found the ones that worked best for the tools I wanted to mount. The best part about the Wall Control hooks and brackets is they have these little tabs that can be tightened left to right to get a super secure connection on the pegboard. Once all my tools were mounted, I added some end plugs to the pieces of conduit that had an exposed pipe end to give it a more finished look. And with that, the cart and outfeed table were done. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that subscribe and bell button. I also post a lot of behind the scenes and smaller scale projects as Ethan Carter Designs on Instagram, and would love to have you follow me there as well. I've also queued up a couple more videos I know you'll enjoy right here. Thanks for watching.